Welcome to the Women Inspire Aspire podcast. In this podcast, I am talking to Vandana Subramanian about mental well being.
Hi Vandana, thanks for accepting my invite to appear in the podcast. Thank you so much. Could you please go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself, your background, where you're from, what you do, etc.?
I'm from Bangalore, a psychologist by profession, and I have my own firm, which is Happy Lab Counseling Center. We basically help in healing and growth of relationships. So that's a bit about my firm and what I do.
Let's get first started with the corporate aspect of 360-degree wellness. So, can you talk a bit about it? What exactly do you do there?
So what we do is we partner with firms to take care of the well-being of their employees. So there are two segments to this. So one is we provide the counseling services to the employees of the firm. And the other thing that we do is programs. So these programs, they focus on specific challenges of the employees. So say, for example, you are feeling low on productivity. So we try to understand what are the different regions of your brain which affects this productivity levels and how we can boost that regions of the brain so that you start to feel more productive. And we try to understand the root cause of the productivity through the skills of counseling and tools of therapy. And we also conduct a lot of events and workshops for the corporate on a month-on-month basis. So every month we do have a theme, and based on the theme, we connect it to wellness. There are certain workshops which focuses on the physical well-being of an individual, the nutrition aspect of an individual. So that's why we call it a 360 wellness program when we work with corporates, because it's not just the mind, but it is also your body, your emotions, the food that you take in, your sleep patterns. All of these things together makes you a healthy and a happy person. So that's 360 wellness that we do with corporates.
Oh, nice. So, being in Bangalore, you would understand the stress that we go through as corporate employees. First thing would be to navigate the traffic, and the other thing would, of course, be the unforgiving work pressure that keeps us busy all the time. So, you have to be in the office, and then once you go back home, you have to take calls with US or UK and other countries. When it comes to productivity, you mentioned about work with parts of the brain which is responsible for the productivity and how to boost the productivity by accessing those parts of the brain. So, could you please tell a bit more about how you go about it? Because I'm really curious.
So whenever, say, we have low energy levels in our body, we feel lethargic, we feel very pessimistic sometimes, right? So most of the regions that get affected is your prefrontal cortex. So prefrontal cortex is like the CEO of the brain. This is the one that kind of controls your entire decision-making processes, or rather this is the region of your brain that makes you a human, right? So we try to work out this particular muscle. So how can we work out this particular muscle is by challenging it with a lot of cognitive tests, which are backed by neurosciences. So there are things like Stroop tests or alphabet and number connection test or digit span. So these are some things that we give. So when you do it, it's like a jogging activity for your prefrontal cortex. So when we go to gym after a long day of work or early in the morning, we do stretching, we do cardio, and then we do the strengthening based activities. So this is similar to that. It's like a gym to your brain. So we do certain activities which jogs that particular portion of your brain. And then we discuss about, okay, what are the reasons or roadblocks for you to not to be productive? So we try to understand the root cause of it, and we provide you with tools to understand how you can be more productive. So as simple as maybe having a choice point or a priority listing. So these things kind of helps you to plan your day better. And even on days wherein things get little hectic, or you might get a lot of work being put on you unexpectedly, or you do have these calls that you need to take probably later on in the night, but you have to manage your family time. So we try to understand what are the roadblocks, what are the things that you can have in your control, what are the things that are not in your control, and work around the solution so that you do feel productive and at the same time it doesn't burn you up. So this is a very small example of it.
All right. Technology sometimes could be inherently very complex. Let's talk about the latest technology, which is artificial intelligence. The architecture itself is pretty complex. The other aspect of technology is that it is rapid paced. The kind of deliveries that are expected on a daily basis is just go, go, go. And not everybody is tuned to that kind of environment where the technology is complex and also the speed of execution is also very fast. That's required, that is expected of the employees. I understand the brain part and what you're trying to do there, but I was curious how effective these techniques are in handling these two challenges specifically for the tech employees.
I mean, the impact of it is definitely there. Tech and AI kind of has become a part of our lives right now, right? And tech employees definitely they have long working hours, and most of the time they are glued to the screen. So this is the time or place rather where there is movement involved. There are a lot of other movement-based activities that can help you to again jog the aspect of your brain. Efficiency of this is definitely there because when we most of the tech employees or the AI employees, we're all white-collared professionals. So we use our brain the most. We don't work out that only part of our body. We might go to gym, we might, mentally stimulate ourselves by learning, but we don't really take care of it. We don't really protect it from degeneration in the future. So this is more like a vitamin that you can give yourself so that your efficiency, your way of working, everything has a pivot and there is an improvement in it. And it's more like a practice that you do every single day, like how meditation is a practice that you do every single day so that you bring in the calmness, you bring in the groundedness. Similarly, this is more or less like an practice that you inculcate so that your brain is much more sharper. And most of the tech employees and AI employees, since we're so dependent on these aspects, we are not really working out our brain. We are very lazy sometimes. Even the smallest of small things we don't try to remember, or we don't try to retrieve it from our long-term memory. We just want to ask the tech about it. So we're not really working out the most important aspect of our body, which is the brain. So this is essentially keeping you much more quicker. It helps you to ensure that the fogginess of your brain is reduced and you're able to recall things using your own beautiful machine, which is the brain, and not being too dependent on the tech, because all of us are somewhere dependent on it too much. And because of that, our forgetfulness, our memory, all of these things is getting hit. So this is more or less like a practice that you start inculcating from today so that you at least delay the degeneration of your cells. Because right now the degeneration is coming on faster because we're not really utilizing the full potential of our brain because of the dependency of tech. So for tech employees especially, this is a very good way to work out their brain.
Interesting. Now let's talk about the healing part in couples. Can you tell us a bit about what the healing is all about and what is the necessity for the healing and how do you go about it?
So we are social creatures, right? We always have somebody around us and we are always craving to create relations. So it starts from right when you are a child. Your relationship is with your parents, with your siblings. Then as you grow older, you form relationship with your friends, and then you find a significant other, you get married or you start to date them, and then you have your own kids. So if you see our entire journey, we do have relationships, and not all relationships are rosy. There is a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of understanding of one another. Each of us have a different personality, different kind of attachment style, different outlook towards life as a whole, and we have our own experiences, all of which makes us take decisions a certain way, speak to people a certain way. So at times people can hurt you, people can misunderstand you, can label you, can hit your confidence in ways that you probably wouldn't have even imagined. So instead of dealing with all of these things alone and taking a long time to find your answers, provide a safe space for individuals to come and explore about the relationships that have hurt them, that have made them lose hope in mankind, or about other relationships, help to heal and grow in your relationships and thrive in it, instead of taking a long time to figure out what is happening to you and then figuring out a solution for the same. Learn the tools and techniques to help live a better life.
Okay, great. Couple of more questions before we move on to other topics. One is, what are the struggles and challenges that you have faced in your line of work, and how have you addressed them?
So I think being an entrepreneur is always like sitting in a roller coaster ride. There are certain things that is easy because you maybe have the skill set to do it, but there are a lot of things which is like a challenge. So every day in this profession is all about learning, all about creating that network for yourself. So my challenge, I would say, are threefold. So one of it is the field in itself. So a lot of people don't understand mental health. So when you keep speaking about mental health to people, they don't understand you, and because of which, many a times you might not be able to grab their attention, maybe to just explain to them what you do, because a lot of them still don't understand this space, especially like my parents' generation or, the Gen X. So they are little on the fence related to this topic. So to work with companies or to work with people and to explain about what you do can sometimes be a challenge. So how I've overcome this is just by making it more relatable, making it more bite-sized, making it something that all of us go through, like a story, so that it's like, hey, psychology is part and parcel of everybody's life. It's just that how we package it all together makes a lot of difference. So that's one challenge. Another challenge, which I personally did face, was in the sales aspect of it. So, marketing is something that I'm very good at, but when it comes to the sales, like going forward and pitching it to people, is something that I had to learn over the course of time, because I always believed that, your work should be of such a quality that people should know. But then recently, a friend of mine did tell me that, work cannot speak for itself. So you need to go and speak about your work to others. So that's something that I learned, because I'm good at my craft, but this all of us can't be good at everything, right? So sales is something that I am learning, but it's a fun ride, and I do have a wonderful team to support me in it. But personally, to go ahead and pitch is something that I can do, but it's still a challenge for me. I need to prep myself a lot for doing that. And the third challenge I would say would be in terms of managing revenue aspect of it sometimes, because like I said, it's a roller coaster, and there are months that you make good money and there are months wherein it's a little bit fluctuations. So to curate a stable source of revenue for oneself and to ensure that we are able to invest in R&D, invest in ideation, and in growth aspect of it. So I think taking on some interesting projects and talking to people is something that helps you in building your business. So that's something that I have taken up. But yeah, my second and third point is something that most of the business people would be facing, and they figure out in due course of time in their own style how to, handle this aspect of challenge.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So, what are the future directions do you think mental health is taking, and what are some tips that you can give to the audience about how to handle mental health? I know that it's a wide set of audiences across several age groups and different kinds of challenges, but there may be some kind of a top of the head kind of tips that you might want to give to people on the mental health. So,
So, mental health is definitely something that a lot of people in the coming generations are taking care of it very seriously. And it's also been something that has been taught to them at a very young age, which is a good thing. So, the tip that I would say is that it's very important that it's not just the mental wellness, it is very important that you take care of your physical health. So, minimum 10,000 steps you need to walk every single day, and make sure that you have the social connections with people. Don't be completely isolated and hooked up in your reels, but actually talk to people. Uh, Make sure that at least one new person you are able to interact with and get to know about them. So that really helps you in forming and building that connections, which gives you that natural dopamine effect. And it is very important that whenever you're facing any kind of a challenge, like seek therapy sessions or talk to somebody, so that you're able to figure out what is this challenge, and if it is something very severe wherein it affects your day-to-day eating, it affects your sleep pattern, it affects your mood cycles. So it's important that, like how we go to doctor to check up for our fever or general health checkup. It's important that you go to a psychologist and you have an overall checkup. I mean, it's not that you just go to a psychologist because something is wrong with you. Sometimes you just go to understand you as a person and how you can be better with people or how you can be better at work. So it's all about self introspection and how comfortable you are with yourself, because a lot of them in this generation are not very comfortable being alone with themselves. They always want some sort of noise, some sort of chatter. So I think the best way to check up how good are you mentally is to sit with yourself and be comfortable with yourself and be able to understand, okay, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, and how I can work on that weaknesses, or how I can, contribute uh, to a relationship in a better manner. So these are certain checks or checklists that you can have to, have a good mental health, and like how you go for doctor's checkup to, check up on yourself, on how your mood is, how your thought is. Because a lot of the times when you are sitting alone, these thoughts come by. So see the pattern. Are they helpful thoughts? Are they unhelpful thoughts? Are they demotivating you? Are they putting you down? So what kind of thoughts are these? And basically understand yourself better, because mental health is all about you. So if you are able to take care of yourself, if you are being healthy to yourself, definitely a lot of other aspects of your life becomes better. So it's like a self introspection of you.
So, thank you so much for your inputs. We talked a lot about your work. Now, let's talk about your hobbies and interests, or what do you do apart from work? What do you do for fun, etc.?
Well, I like to travel. That's something that I do very frequently. Like, I collect experiences. So, whenever I travel, I immerse myself in that particular city or country's culture, food, speak to a lot of local people, and just explore the city using public transportation and enjoy and, get to know the city well. That's one thing that I do. And another thing that I do is I play a lot of board games. So I love strategy-based board games. So I was on weekends working in a board game cafe in Bangalore, which is called as Board for Board. So it was a fun experience because my job was to basically teach people board games and host games for them. So I learned close to around 80 to 90 board games. It's a whole different world. And so I do go and play board games, and we even conduct certain tournaments in our office as well. So this is something that I do other than my work. Also, I read books. I stay in Bangalore, so there are a lot of things that keeps happening, either food-based workshops and events or music events. So I try to uh, go to such kind of events and meet different groups of people in that way. So this is something that I do.
Now, let's talk about the societal issues that you care about and what do you do about them, or what do you plan to do about them? Of course, we are working on mental health already, but apart from that, is there anything else?
So I'm more into sustainability. That is something that we believe in our organization. So as much as possible, actually most of the things in our office, we don't use plastic. Everything is either even paper is something that we try to avoid. We go all digital. And even for our teas and coffees, we have dedicated cups allocated to everybody so that we wash the cups and we reuse it and don't keep wasting or using paper cups or plastic cups. So that's something that I believe in, and this is a small contribution that we do in our day-to-day lives. And I'm also into fashion-based sustainability. So I don't like to keep buying new clothes and hoarding it just because it is available at a very low price. So whatever clothes that we have and that I don't use, we try to convert it into something that is usable. It could be in the form of a bag, or it could be in the form of pillowcases, quilts. So my mom is into stitching, and so she is the one, or she's rather the inspiration behind, the fashion sustainability and not hoarding the landfills with the clothes, because clothes take a long time to degenerate, and especially the ones which are not made of good quality cotton. So this is something that I do in my small way to contribute to the society, and this is something that I truly believe in as well. And I also love animals. So whenever we make a profit, or whenever we are having a good month, we donate to animal foundations to take care of animals, because I feel that they cannot speak and they are very innocent and make uh, the world a better place. So this is something that I do. And I of course believe in making the planet much more greener, because right now in Bangalore itself, if you see the interior areas like Jayanagar, Vijayanagar, so they all are much more greener, and you can see the air quality level is so different as compared to in Whitefield or Electronic City, where there are so many buildings and you find so less trees. So in the future, definitely, if there is any kind of plant drives or anything, that is something that I would want to contribute in to make the world much more greener and not cut a lot of trees. And if at all, uh, come up with something that helps in reduction of waste management and clean our rivers. So this is like a broader goal, but yeah, these are things that I believe in and I do.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing those things. We are coming towards the end of the podcast. Do you have any questions for me or about the podcast?
I do. So, I know when I spoke to you before that this is you trying to collect stories from different people. So, how has it been so far? And what is your key learning from this podcast, if I have to ask you?
So it's going pretty well. We have done around 70 plus episodes, and I have spoken to a variety of people from different walks of life. And the key learning is that everybody is different, and they go through different things in life, and they have different set of priorities. I have spoken to people who have totally opposite views on things. So it's pretty interesting to talk to diverse set of people and learn about what they are doing. And it has been a fantastic ride, and lots of learning and lot of interactions, which I love. So this podcast was started basically because I wanted to talk to people and get to know people. So that's getting achieved, which I'm very happy about. And it's
That's nice.
happening on a weekly basis right now. So I'm releasing an episode every week, and I look forward for more podcasts because I'm also looking at other possibilities apart from this podcast. I have another idea in my mind to start a podcast which is covering other aspects of India. So that's something that I have in my pipeline. So it's all going very well, and I hope to do more in the future.
That's amazing. So nice. I hope you get to conduct that podcast and get many people to listen to your stories.
Okay. Thank you so much for appearing in the podcast and sharing your reviews. I wish you all the best in your life and whatever you aspire to do. Please take care and bye for now.
Thank you. See you.
That was a great podcast with Vandana Subramanian. Please subscribe to this channel and follow it for more awesome podcasts. Opinions expressed by the guests in this podcast are their own. The host or the sponsors of the podcast do not condone the opinions expressed by the guests or the actions arising out of those opinions. Any decisions or actions that the listeners might take as a result of listening to this podcast must be based on their own judgment and will be at their own risk. The podcast host or their sponsors will not be held responsible for the consequences of any actions and or decisions taken as a result of any content in this podcast.